I've not been working when in the industry, we're using halogen or, no, halogen partly yes, but like metal halide or any sort of light source, I will say, from the past. But is LED better than halogen or fluorescent? LED are more efficient, yes. LED come to full brightness without need for warm-up time, for example. LED are lasting much longer. We all had conversation about lifetime and how much longer LED will last, and how energy saving they are compared, for example, a 60-watt incandescent bulb. In terms of lighting design, I would say the LED lights, obviously, they do not emit UV or infrared lights, and they do emit very little heat. Which makes them much better, for example, than halogen lights for arc lighting. So I will say yes, LED are better. Obviously, this is my vision. There are still lots of conversation, especially with residential clients, that they wanted that sort of dimming experience when the lighting was getting warmer by dimming it, and they do miss that visual experience with LED. But obviously with LED we are exploring dim to warm, tunable white, so the technology is working in the background to fulfill these expectations.
I think most lighting designers will look longingly at a low voltage halogen MR16 lamp. The beam control quality of light that you used to get from those was really good. But I think if you actually go back and look at some of them, they're pretty poor. I think LED is better. I think you have more control, and what has been forced through the industry is actually getting to a higher standard, quality, consistency of light. And when you look at the high end of the products available, when you're talking about quality of light, it can be exceptional what we're getting from LEDs. We've got some way to go on the dimming to a very warm light, but I think LEDs make everything possible.
The thing with LEDs is that they have allowed us to do things that we couldn't have done before. If you look at automotive and you look at the way in which you can integrate light into the side panel of a door to give you like incredibly even concealed lighting, or an aeroplane design, if you look there, you get these kind of really beautiful ability to color change. Or I saw one thing, someone sent me a link a week ago, which was that the cabin basically follows where the sun is setting. So you can, like, as the plane is flying away, the sun will set in the correct direction and then rise, and it's like all kind of tuned to help stop jet lag. And I was like, wow, that's like, you couldn't achieve that with any other technology other than LED. And yeah, in other ways, I feel like LED light bulbs that you just use in your home are a minefield. I think that replacing halogen, like MR16 spotlights, brilliant. They save a lot of energy. I think that reducing our reliance on carbon fuels is really important. So reducing energy load is important. But that is an absolute minefield. Like, none of them dim very well. They're super complicated. We've had to try and educate people what a lumen is instead of wattage, to understand color temperature. The color binning is terrible. You can't get lights to match. And that conversation is that, the light bulb lasts for 50,000 hours. I'm only going to have to do it once. I've got lights from 5 years ago that I never could get matched. And whilst now maybe people have got better color matching, that's still, again, only an incremental thing. And I'm really worried that LEDs are very hard to recycle, if not impossible at the moment to recycle. Not an immediate concern if things are being done well, but the reality is there's a lot of rubbish product out there in the market, particularly in the consumer market. How is that stuff being recycled? I feel like LEDs are significantly more difficult, and the components that go with them more difficult to recycle. So they've brought many advantages, but they haven't come without cost.
LED, halogen and fluorescent conversation, I think, actually just kind of anecdotal now, and a bit of history. I think fluorescent lights never really took off in the first place. they gave off a weird colour light. They weren't sold to us very well. They didn't fit into our existing fittings, especially domestically, very well. So they've kind of just gone away on their own. But the tungsten and LED, now the advancements in LEDs have come along such a long way. You are quite hard pushed to tell now what the light source is. So if you answered me that question in the past, I would have given you a different answer, but technology has brought the LEDs on so much now.
I think lighting designers will always have a love affair with halogen that will never really be replaced by the use of LED, but LED has got better and better and better over time. So LED that is dimmable, LED that is a warm colour temperature, is much better at replicating tungsten than it was. Every year it gets better and better and better. Every light source had its own particular qualities, unique qualities, and I think as lighting designers that's why we like them or love them for those qualities. I would say pretty much everybody is 99% using LED these days.
I'm a very young designer, so what you're saying, it seems familiar for me from just like hearing, you know, like other people talking about the old days. But I think it has to do with the quality of the light, that halogen, you know, the spectral power distribution is super smooth. It means it just shows all the color like very close to reality. I would say like sometimes a bit saturated, but it's just that vibrancy that the halogen light and the quality of that light has that LEDs, you know, have taken a while to get there, but I think they have reached a point where a very good LED is, you know, very similar.